T-Bird fans, we welcome you to a brand new edition of T-Bird Talk. I'm Cloud County Community College Sports Information Director, Toby Nosker. On this week's edition of T-Bird Talk, we'll have an opportunity to visit with two members of the Cloud County Community College women's basketball team, as we'll sit down with freshman guard Camiah Muldrow of Fairburn, Georgia, and sophomore forward Shea Wurtz of Clifton, Kansas. Muldrow scored 33 points for the Cloud County Community College women's basketball team Wednesday night, but the T-Birds could not overcome a 9-point fourth-quarter deficit, falling 73-71 to Seward County Community College in their Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference opener. The Saints won for the first time in Concordia since 2022, improving their record this season to 6-1 overall and 1-0 in Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference action. The loss snaps Cloud County's 4-game winning streak, dropping the T-Birds to 4-2 on the season and 0-1 in conference play. It was a tight battle the entire way, as the game saw 7 ties and 10 lead changes. Seward County carried a 1-point lead, 38-37, into the halftime break, and led by as much as 6 points in the first half. Cloud County opened the second half on a 7-0 run, capped by a three-pointer by sophomore forward Layla Washington to grab a 44-38 advantage with 7:28 to play in the third quarter. Seward County countered with a 10-2 run of their own, retaking the lead at 48-46. The T-Birds managed to tie the game twice over the final 13 minutes, but the Saints never trailed again, holding on for the conference win. Muldrow scored 30-plus points in a game for the second time this season to lead Cloud County. She had 33 points on 11 of 24 shooting, with 3 made three-pointers. She netted 18 points in the second half and was also a perfect 8 of 8 from the foul line while dishing out a team-high 5 assists. Washington recorded her second double-double of the season with 11 points and 10 rebounds. The T-Birds return to action this Saturday, concluding a 4-game homestand with a Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference game against Barton Community College. Tip-off is scheduled for 2 p.m. from Arley Bryant Gymnasium. The Cloud County Community College men's basketball team shot over 54% from the field Wednesday night, opening up Kansas Jayhawk Community College conference play with an 85-65 victory over Seward County Community College. 4 players finished in double figures for Cloud County, led by redshirt freshman MJ Stackhouse with 18 points on 6 of 11 from the field, including 2 of 4 from three-point range. He also chipped in a team-high 7 rebounds, 2 steals, and 2 block shots. The T-Birds improved to 6-1 on the season and 1-0 in Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference play, while Seward County falls to 5-2 overall and 0-1 in conference action. Cloud County was held scoreless for nearly 6 minutes to start the contest, trailing Seward County 8-0 early. The T-Birds soon found their groove, putting together a 17-2 run over the next 5.5 minutes to jump up 17-10 with 8:38 remaining in the first half. Cloud County extended their lead to double digits with 5 minutes to go in the first half. Cloud County led by 14 points at the break, 38-24. The T-Birds maintained a double-digit lead the rest of the game. Cloud County was rock solid in the second half, shooting nearly 60% from the field and 40% from behind the arc, while outscoring the Saints 26-12 in points in the paint over the final 20 minutes of play. Seward County came no closer than 12 points in the second half, while the T-Birds led by as much as 24 points in the game's closing minutes. Freshman forward Deontez Walker joined Stackhouse in double figures with 16 points on 7 of 8 shooting to go with 5 rebounds. Sophomore forward Elijah Savon had a strong game with 15 points, 6 rebounds, and 3 block shots. Sophomore forward Samuel Acott chipped in 13 points on 4 of 5 shooting and went 4 of 4 from the free throw line. Cloud County out-rebounded Seward County 42-30, which led to 16 second-chance points for the T-Birds. Cloud County also outscored Seward County 15-6 in fast break points. The T-Birds will be back in action on Saturday when they host number 17 Barton Community College in Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference action at 4 p.m. Barton opened up conference play with an 85-78 home win over Dodge City Community College Wednesday night. Both women's and men's games against Barton Community College will be streamed live on the T-Bird Sports Network at cloudtbirds.com. Up next, we'll talk T-Bird women's hoops when we're joined by freshman Camiah Muldrow and sophomore Shea Wurtz. This is T-Bird Talk.
Are you a Kansas or Nebraska high school senior who's thinking about your next step after high school? If so, you qualify for Cloud County Community College's $500 Early Bird Scholarship. All you have to do is visit campus before December 19th and have a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and you get a $500 scholarship guaranteed. So come visit Cloud and see why our students are Cloud proud. On your visit, you'll see our campus, meet with an academic advisor, and get a chance to have all your questions answered. Set up your campus visit today by giving us a call at 785-243-1435 extension 212 or visiting us online at cloud.edu/admissions.
This week on T-Bird Talk, an opportunity to visit with two members of the Cloud County Community College women's basketball team. Joining us today, we have sophomore Shea Wurtz from Clifton, Kansas, and also with us is freshman Camiah Muldrow from Fairburn, Georgia. And I appreciate the two of you taking time to come in and to visit with us. And I kind of want to talk a little bit about your time here at Cloud and obviously the season as it's just getting started with Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference play this week. But Shea, I want to begin with you. So you grew up in nearby Clifton, Kansas, and made the decision to come to Cloud County. Tell me a little bit about kind of that journey and ultimately that decision for you to stay close to home and play basketball here for Coach Brett Erkenbreck.
Yeah, it was a pretty easy decision for me because it's close to home. I have lots of family in town. My mom works here, so I get to see her every day, which is probably the highlight because having family close is nice. My family can come to all the games. I have support from my siblings, grandparents, and then cousins and aunts and uncles, so it's really nice.
Tell me about growing up, though, in Clifton and especially basketball. How did basketball kind of enter the picture for you? How did you gravitate to that sports and kind of ultimately your love for the game?
Well, starting from a very young age, like as long as I can even remember, I've been playing basketball. Both my parents played basketball. My dad is the coach at the high school, and after school, I'd go to their practices, and I always just had a lot of fun time with the high school girls. Thought I was pretty cool to be able to go hang out with all the high schoolers when I was young, and I've just loved the game ever since I can remember.
What was that like for you, though, growing up with a dad as a coach, and then ultimately you as well as your sister both playing for him? What was that like to have him as not just your dad, but also your head coach?
Definitely lots of arguments and fighting during games, during practices, at home. But ultimately, I wouldn't change it. It was a good experience, but it also could have been a bad experience at times, but it allowed us to really bond, and it was enjoyable. I couldn't imagine it any other way.
Did you always desire to want to play at the next level? Was that something you had given a lot of thought to?
Yeah, I've always wanted to play at the next level. Since I remember in middle school, I always knew I wanted to play beyond high school. So
what was the recruiting process like? How did the conversations begin with Cloud County? And ultimately, as you said, it's nice to be able to be so close to home, have those family and friends around, but ultimately, why did you settle in on Cloud?
I've known Coach for a while. Like I have a picture and I also remember coming to basketball camps when I was younger, and there's a picture of him and I was probably 10, 9, 10, somewhere in there. So Cloud basketball has always just been kind of a home. I've came to the games and I've loved the atmosphere here.
Now, Camiah, let me bring you into the conversation as well. So growing up in Georgia, what sports and activities and things were you involved in growing up?
Really only basketball.
Really?
It's been basketball all my life. I was originally born in Wisconsin, though. So when I was in Wisconsin, I played soccer a little bit, did karate classes a tad, but it's really only been basketball.
Why basketball?
I don't know. When I did move to Georgia, I was 7 years old, and I think I just needed something to do. So I started playing basketball with my brother, and we were on the same team. So I used to play with boys a lot and all that. So yeah.
When did you feel like you started to get maybe a little more serious about it? And as I was asking Shea, when did thoughts start to creep in that, hey, maybe this is something that, I can do post-high school, those sorts of things?
Maybe my middle school, as soon as middle school started, maybe my 7th grade year. This is when I started like playing basketball outside with my brother, and it got really competitive. And I kind of made that switch. It was like, okay, maybe I might want to do this like as a career. And I thought I was going to like the NBA or something. I didn't know anything about the WNBA at the time, but I wanted to take it pretty far.
Tell me about the recruiting process then for you. And you're coming a long ways from home to Concordia, Kansas. I'm sure a place that you'd never even heard of until you found out about Cloud County. So tell me about the recruiting process, and ultimately, how did you wind up as a T-Bird?
Yeah, I remember I went to a prep school for 2 years, my junior and senior year, and I got an Instagram message from one of our coaches, and basically talking to us about the school. I've never heard of it before. So I researched, I went on the call, and I talked to Coach Erkenbrack. I liked the things that he was saying. I did realize it was 16 hours away from my home. So I was like, okay, I'll think about it. And then that thought became like a reoccurring thought. And I just kept thinking about it. And I was like, well, let me go on a visit and see how I like it. And the atmosphere was just great. So
what was the visit like?
I remember I got here, it was a flight. I got here, I think I met 2 players that went here last year, Dee and Lily, and they were great. I came on a school day. It was maybe like a Friday or something like that, so I got to see everybody like in the caf, everybody like interacted with each other on like a regular normal school day, and it was just great.
What was the overall impression, though? You know, landing in Kansas and landing in Concordia for the first time. I'm sure it's a little different than back home.
Yeah. A lot of green, a lot of farms. It's very different. I know my last school was like the same, kind of like small town. So I was already kind of used to that. The wind, though, the wind got me. That was different. The weather. But the overall atmosphere, it was like really like light and like just uplifting, like something I could wake up to every day.
You talked about moving 16 hours from home.
Yes.
Was that exciting? Was it scary? What was your thought process when you ultimately made the decision and said, you know what, this is what I'm going to do? Mm-hmm. How did you feel about having to make that kind of a transition?
I think it was a lot of different emotions. I was excited to experience a different place. I think I am like an adventurer, so I like to like, you know, experience as many like different states and places as I can. So I was excited. It was like a little nerve-wracking a bit, maybe because I've never been this far away from home for like a long period of time. But as soon as like the first initial like homesick feeling kicked out, I, you know, found a family here. So
you feel like you've been able to adjust pretty well?
Yes.
Shea, what has been the conversations, and has Coach, I guess, had any conversations with you, Lauren Marone, the 2 returners back from a year ago, about trying to acclimate some of the newer players and the freshmen into Cloud County? I mean, is that something that he's asked you to kind of help lead in any way and make sure that they're comfortable and they know what it's like to be around, you know, the basketball program here at Cloud and, you know, Jayhawk Conference basketball, all those kind of things? Is that anything that you guys have talked about?
I guess before people came in, we were encouraged to reach out to the team and let them know that they were welcome. And I guess I'm from here, so I mean, I kind of know a lot if anyone has any questions or anything. And I don't live on campus, I live off campus. So I guess I could probably do a better job. I could probably invite the team over maybe for team suppers or something and help them feel more at home.
Let me talk about the transition, though, from high school now to college for both of you. And Shea, obviously you've got a year now under your belt here at Cloud County, but what was it like taking that leap as a player from high school ball to then last year, your freshman season? And you got a lot of time playing out there for the T-Birds last year in the post, but taking on some of the best teams in the country as far as junior college basketball is concerned. Was that a difficult challenge for you? What was that move like from high school to college?
I think I adjusted pretty well, but I think it's also due to our league, which we have one of the toughest leagues, well, arguably the toughest league in 1A, because we have there's teams that go to state every year, win it in our league. And then I also played summer ball and went all over the country and played, which I think helped tremendously. And lots of just skill workouts, and I feel like it really helped me adjust to this level and this pace of the game, which is a lot faster than high school. But
that's what I was going to ask. Was there anything that surprised you about maybe the quickness, the physicality, anything like that took you by surprise?
Definitely the fact that everyone on the team is good, because when you're coming from a small school, a lot of the times not everyone is just going to be a great athlete. Everyone's kind of knows the game, but that's not their whole passion. They're just kind of doing it to be a part of it. But in college, you're doing it because you like it and you're good at it. So I feel like that's the biggest thing, is the level.
A couple of weeks ago on the podcast, I was joined by head coach Brett Erkenbrack, and I was talking a little bit about you as a player. And I was talking about your demeanor on the court, and I don't mean this in a negative way at all, but it doesn't feel like you play with like a lot of emotions, right? It doesn't feel like there's a lot of swing from, you emotionally, but you're a competitor. I memean, you're out there fighting, you're scrapping for loose balls, you're battling inside in the post, sometimes undersized against some of the competitors that you're taking on, but you keep yourself pretty even keel. Tell me a little bit about that. I mean, and what's that like for you as a competitor, and what's kind of your mindset when you step on the court and you see like some of these girls that you may not have gone against girls that were these physical or this big in high school. And again, knowing that, hey, I'm taking on everybody's best player. These were all kids that were the best player on their high school team. So what's kind of your general mindset when you get out there on the court?
I guess my main thing is just to win, obviously, but I'm usually just mentally preparing myself. Like, I'm not one to get super, super hyped up, I guess. I feel like that's just my personality. I'm just pretty calm and laid back, and that just shows on the floor too. I usually don't, I get a little frustrated with myself sometimes, but I try not to let that show. And I just like to put it past me and just encourage my team. And eventually, if I'm like encouraging my team enough, then it will come back to me and help me play better.
What do you feel like you most bring to the team as a player?
I think I try my best to just encourage others, and I like to just fight for the rebounds and do the little things that aren't always seen, but they definitely help tremendously by just being scrappy, getting loose balls, and all that kind of stuff.
Camiah, for you, it's your freshman season. You've had a fantastic start to your first collegiate season. But what has that jump been like for you now from high school to college, and how do you feel like you have fared as a player?
Mm-hmm. I think Shea is correct in what she said. It is a bit of a jump when it comes to how many people, I guess, are like committed to playing and how good like everyone on the team is. But I think for me, it's more so like about like knowing the rules. Like, you know, it used to be 8 minutes, now it's 10 minutes. We have like media timeouts and all the different like rules and kind of switches, I guess, for college, like taking those in and, you know, being able to, I guess, keep my stamina up and train for, I guess, college basketball.
And I wondered that too. Like I asked Shea, has there been anything that has surprised you from the quickness of the game to the physicality to whatever it may be that has maybe taken you by surprise, or something you feel like you've had to adjust to in these early games?
Maybe the quickness. I think I try my hardest to like get the ball up the floor, but I know, and this is like one of my first seasons as being like a point guard really. So being in that position, at my position where it's like get the ball, go, it's kind of a little different for me, but I think I'm adjusting well.
I want to piggyback off that because and I was talking about having Coach Erkenbrack on the podcast a couple of weeks ago, and we were talking about you, and one of the things I said to him after watching numerous practices and the preseason scrimmages, that you just strike me as a player that feels comfortable having the ball in your hands, and almost like you're the type that you want to have the ball in your hands. But you're telling me this is really your first time being that legitimate point guard. So tell me a little bit about that move for you. And is that true? Are you somebody that, hey, put the ball in my hands?
Yes, it's definitely been something I had to develop. Throughout my high school career, I've been put at multiple positions. I've been at the 2, I've been a backup point guard, I've been combo guard, playing both, which is really my main position, a combo guard, because for years I've been playing the 1 and the 2. So more of a facilitating part, and then more of a scoring part also. So having the ball in my hands, yes, I'm comfortable, but it's had to be something I had to develop.
How do you feel like you've played to this point?
I think at the start, it's been an adjustment. Just trying to figure out, how to play college basketball, and also figuring out, how to play with my team and how it's going to be the best that we can, go far as we want to go. But I think overall my play has been a B+. B+.
What do you feel like you bring to the team?
I think my tenacity. I think Shea's more of an even kill type of player. She's not rattled. She's not really showing a bunch of emotion, which is great. Me, on the other hand, I'm rah, I'm in your face. I scream a lot, yell a lot. So I think just bringing that energy and having that almost dog-like energy is going to bring us and can bring us far with where we want to go.
Shea, I know the team was hurt in the preseason with a couple of injuries that have sidelined a couple of the players, but even still, as I watch this year's team, and in comparison to maybe last year, I feel like you guys are a little deeper, especially at your position in the post, adding a transfer in Layla Washington, a couple of new freshmen that have come into the mix. What's that like for you? I guess having the internal battle maybe that you guys have in practice, pushing each other each day, but then knowing that, hey, there's 3 or 4 girls that can step into this role, they can fill this spot. It's not all on me, whatever that mindset may be, but I guess kind of how do you feel about the makeup of this year's team and where things are right now?
I think we're doing great. We started out a little rocky, but we've definitely figured out who we are and who we're going to be this season, which obviously we can grow off of that and become even better, but we're doing pretty good for the season just starting. We're scoring a lot of points. We have a lot of people who can score. We have great size. We have great size inside. I'm our shortest post, and I'm 5'9", 5'10", and we have a few girls that are quite a bit taller than me, and that makes practice a lot better. It makes it more challenging when you have height. And we have plenty of guards who can do things. Just overall, we just have a lot of great players, and our bond is really strong, and I think we can go far.
Do you feel like it took some time to build chemistry, though, knowing that there was only 2 of you back, you and Lauren, and with so many new faces again coming in? Did it take a while for you guys to kind of build some chemistry and some knowledge of, okay, this is what Camiah's doing out there, this is where this person's going to be, kind of getting a feel and a flow of how each other plays the game?
It definitely took some time, but I feel like we clicked pretty quickly. I feel like everyone gets along great. Last year, I feel like the chemistry was a little different. Personally, I feel like this year we have more chemistry and we kind of click a little better, which hopefully will lead to great things.
Camiah, what was that like for you adjusting to brand new coach, brand new team?
Yeah, I think before I even got here, it kind of started the chemistry building piece. Like what Shea said, they were reaching out to us and during the summer, seeing if we had any questions, checking on us. So the chemistry piece, I think by the time we got here, we were already friends at this point. I didn't really feel like everybody on the team was brand new. It was we'd known each other for a couple of years now.
You talked earlier about adjusting to things that are different from high school to college. One of those would be a much longer preseason, And I know the both of you have played a lot of basketball in your youth and your time growing up, including year-round, but it's a little different, and it's much more intense at this level. And it's a much longer season. You start with official practices October 1st, hoping to see that season continue all the way through mid-March. And so it requires a lot of dedication and time put into it. What was that like for you, Camiah, dealing with the preseason? And you guys all come here with a desire to want to play, but there was a lot of time, which it was just development, a lot of practice time and a lot of workouts and all of that kind of stuff before you finally got to the season. Was that a challenge at all? Talk a little bit about how dedicated you have to be and how much time you have to devote to the sport itself while you're here in college.
Maybe for me, it was a bit challenging during maybe that middle point, maybe like the end of September, like right before regular practices started. But for me, it's more like a anxious, like I'm ready to, start feeling. So when I'm like working out and, weightlifting, it's kind of like that, okay, I'm almost there. If I keep doing this, I'm almost there, and I could really, showcase what I've been putting in for like 2 months.
You were hungry when that first game came around.
Yeah.
Shea, though, it's a long season. And there's a lot of long bus trips and van rides and the like is still to come. And so, you can't get too overly excited about now because there's so much season that remains. Was that an adjustment for you coming out of high school to last year, just kind of dealing with a much longer season than maybe what you'd been used to in the past?
Yeah, well, I've always been used to always playing a sport because I played volleyball, and then right off the bat you go to basketball, and then as soon as basketball is over, you go to track. But it was definitely challenging to be playing the same sport over and over because I'm not used to that. But I think that playing different sports in high school really helped with that. And, yeah, but I feel like I love the sport, so it's really not too challenging to play it every single day.
I'll ask you a little bit more about basketball in this season in just a second. But you're not just athletes, you're student athletes, right? Shea, what has life been like as a student, separate from the game of basketball? You live off campus, as you mentioned, and from a nearby community. But tell me a little bit about, as much as you have it, campus life, and how have you found the classes that you've taken here? How supportive do you feel like the instructors are, the staff are of, students such as yourself? What has the overall student experience been like for you here at Cloud?
Yeah, as on the pre-vet track, obviously the classes are probably some of the hardest that Cloud has to offer, and that can be really challenging to balance on top of basketball. But the instructors are very helpful. They help if you have any questions, they're there to help. So it makes it a lot easier. And my classes are pretty small. This semester I have me and one other person in the class, and the other one I have 3 other people in the class. So if you need help, they'll be definitely willing to get it. And then I'm also involved in PTK and going to those meetings after basketball. I had to miss some because we'd practice when they had it, but a lot going on. Always keeps me busy, but that's how I've always been. So
you're studying pre-vet?
Yep.
And what's your goal?
I applied for vet school, so I'll hear back in the next probably week or 2 if I get an interview.
So is this your last year playing basketball?
If I get accepted, I guess probably, because you're at classes from 8 to 5 every day, studying till midnight every night. So
do you feel like that's going to be tough for you to walk away from a game like this that you played for so long?
Yeah, but all good things have to end, and starting something else that's hopefully going to be good. So,
how much do you hope that this is a special season for you guys then, if this is the end of the run for you?
So far, it's been great. I love the people. I've made so many new friends, and I know we're going to do great things, and I know it's already special, so it's going to be good.
Camiah, for you, what are you majoring in or planning on studying here at Cloud?
Health and human performance.
Okay. And how have you found the classes, the teachers, the support staff, just the overall experience here at Cloud?
I appreciate the instructors a lot. With me being a freshman, and college being different to me. I think them helping me through this challenging experience with like balancing class and also my sports, and also like I guess the put away time I have for like also individual workouts. It's been really great. I mean, they're really understanding. I've had a couple papers I've had to write so far, which I'm not quite used to, but you know, I think I'm a great student, so they've been really good.
You feel like people here want to see you be successful? They kind of have your back and they want to support you and want to see you find success during your time here at Cloud?
Yes. I think that's also been a change for me. Like I'll be in the hallway walking to class. It's maybe like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. I'll be walking and then I get, hey, hi, Camiah, how are you? I'm like, oh, I didn't know you knew me. Good morning.
I want to close out with what I call my final 4 questions. So I'll ask 4 questions. I'll ask each question to each of you and just want to get your thoughts. Some of them may be basketball related or not, but Camiah, I'm going to let you answer first on my first question. And it doesn't have to just be Cloud. This can be at any time for you playing the sport of basketball. But what for you would you say has been your proudest achievement on the court? What has been the highlight so far in your career, whether at Cloud or elsewhere? What has been your proudest achievement?
I say my freshman year of high school. I won state in 6A for my high school, and that was just like it feels like a dream. Like just remembering, I guess the confetti going and like us jumping around, jumping out on each other. In the locker room, spraying water on our coach, all that. Like it was just great. Like it feels surreal knowing that it really, really happened.
Shea, for you, what would you say has been your all-time proudest achievement or moment?
Probably making it to state in basketball my high school year. It was just a really fun experience because not that many people get to experience it, and we didn't win our first game, so we got knocked out, but it was still a great memory, and it's something to be proud of, is making it.
Question number 2, and Shea, I'll let you begin. But has there been, or who has been, a coach or a teammate or just a mentor, a person that you feel like has shaped you the most as far as basketball is concerned? Who's been that person for you?
Coach-wise, I would definitely have to say my dad, because we were always in the gym outside of practice. But also my sister, getting to grow up. I only got 2 years in high school to play with her, but I loved playing with my sister. I'd go back and do it again in a heartbeat.
Camiah, for you, who's been that person that's had maybe the biggest impact on you and your career to this point?
I know my mom isn't a coach, but I think I'd have to say my mom. She's basically a coach at this point. Walking me through the highs and lows, you know, being there, always giving me that, you know, parental advice. You know, she's very, like, educated about sports anyway. So anytime me and my brother were, like, down or up or needed advice, you know, she was always there. We didn't have to ask. She was just, you know, helping any way she could.
How's your mom holding up with you so far from home?
I think she's doing great. This isn't our first time. You know, there were a couple of tears the first time I had to, you know, go after, you know, move-in day was. But I think right now she's doing good.
Question 3, Camiah, I'm going to let you start again. I want to get to know maybe a little bit about your teammates. So who would you say out of all of your teammates right now, when you need somebody to be positive, you know, on the court, in the huddle, somebody maybe to motivate you, to keep your spirits up, who's been that teammate for you that you've leaned on so far in the early part of this season?
I think I go Anika Moore.
Okay. And Anika, unfortunately, one of those sidelined with that injury.
Yes.
But why Anika?
I just think, you know, we've grown really close off the court. And I think every time I just look down the bench, she's like kind of just looking at me like she was waiting for my eyes to just connect. And I think she's always just there to, like, you know, give me some advice, you know, raise my head, always giving me like a little pat, saying, you know, well, I can't say that, but yeah, saying some things that motivate me.
She's getting you going.
Yeah.
Shea, for you, has there been a teammate that you talked about being hard on yourself sometimes? Is there somebody that kind of keeps your spirits up, keeps you motivated to keep going, keeps you positive when it comes to the games or in practices?
I think everyone does a great job of encouraging each other, but I feel like Lauren, because we have a great connection since we obviously played together last year with only 2 returners, she does a great job. And then also Marilyn always does a great job of keeping the energy up. She has so much energy, and I feel like that really just brings you up and gets you going again.
All right, our final question. Shea, I'll let you begin, but looking ahead, what are the team's goals this year? What do you want to accomplish?
I mean, the obvious one is winning the national title, but main goal is just winning as many games as possible, going as far as we can, enjoying it, because obviously it might be my last year playing. I just want to enjoy it, but I know this team can do big things, and yeah, let's do it.
Camiah, for you, what would you say is the team's goals?
The national championship and the region championship.
You guys seem pretty positive. You sound pretty positive about the way things are right now. You feel pretty good about the direction where you're headed?
Yes, I like dreaming big, having my goals big, and knowing that, everybody in this locker room has really, worked for that. I think we can get there.
Well, Shea, Camiah, I appreciate the two of you taking time out of your day to come on and be a part of our program this week. And best of luck with the rest of the season as we kick off conference play this week. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Are you a Kansas or Nebraska high school senior who's thinking about your next step after high school? If so, you qualify for Cloud County Community College's $500 early bird scholarship. All you have to do is visit campus before December 19th and have a GPA of 3.0 or higher, and you get a $500 scholarship guaranteed. So come visit Cloud and see why our students are Cloud proud. On your visit, you'll see our campus, meet with an academic advisor, and get a chance to have all your questions answered. Set up your campus visit today by giving us a call at 785-243-1435 extension 212 or visiting us online at cloud.edu/admissions.
My thanks to Camiah Muldrow and Shea Wurtz for being our guests this week on T-Bird Talk. The Cloud County Community College women's basketball team looks to get back on track this Saturday when they host Barton Community College. The women's game will tip at 2 p.m. from Arlie Bryan Gymnasium. The men's game will follow at 4 p.m., and both games will be streamed live on the T-Bird Sports Network at cloudtbirds.com. Cloud County Athletics this week was proud to announce that the 2019 Cloud County Men's Outdoor Track and Field National Championship Team and the 2019 Cloud County Men's Cross Country National Championship Team have been selected for induction to the Cloud County Athletics Hall of Fame. The 2019 Cloud County Men's Track and Field team had great success, including winning the program's first Region 6 Kansas Jayhawk Community College Conference Championships in both the indoor and outdoor seasons, and earned the program's first NJCAA National Outdoor Track and Field Championship in May 2019 in Hobbs, New Mexico. 6 months later, the Cloud County Community College men's cross country team claimed the 2019 NJCAA Men's Cross Country National Championship in Albuquerque, New Mexico. Cloud County finished with a total of 89 points, more than 20 points better than runner-up El Paso Community College. The induction ceremony for the 19th Cloud County Athletics Hall of Fame class will be held at halftime of the men's basketball game against Independence Community College on Saturday, January 17th. The women's game will tip at 2, with the men's game to follow at 4 p.m. A Cloud County cross country and track and field alumni reunion has been scheduled for that day, January 17th at 6 p.m. at Warehouse 315, located at 315 West 5th Street in Concordia. For more information about the reunion and to RSVP, you can check out cloudtbirds.com. The addition of this year's class brings the total of former teams in the Hall of Fame to 6, with the national champion track and field and cross country teams joining the 2001 national champion women's basketball team, the 2011 national champion men's soccer team, the 1980 Region 6 champion men's basketball team, and the 1980 Region 6 champion and national runner-up women's basketball team. You can find out more about the 19th Athletics Hall of Fame class by checking out cloudtbirds.com. You can also keep on top of everything that's happening in Cloud County Athletics by following us on our social media platforms. Just search and like us, Cloud County Athletics on Facebook and Instagram, or CCCC Sports on X. Now, T-Bird Talk drops brand new editions of the show each Thursday. But of course, next week is the Thanksgiving holiday, and we're going to be taking a Thanksgiving break. But we'll be back in 2 weeks talking more Cloud County Community College hoops. We'll also be talking T-Bird Wrestling. The Cloud County Community College wrestling team will be competing this weekend in the Eunice Hospitality Open, hosted by the University of Nebraska, Kearney. Action gets underway Saturday morning at 9 a.m. A full preview to that event will be available tomorrow at cloudtbirds.com. And in the weeks ahead, we're going to be talking to members of the T-Bird wrestling team, the Cloud County Community College men's basketball team, and we'll talk to more members of the Cloud County women's basketball team. T-Bird Talk is a production of the Cloud County Community College Athletic Department.